Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Astrological Intentions. I am your host, Alex Reevy, along with the New Year native herself, Sandy Reevy.
Hi, everybody.
It is episode 284, January 1st. Happy 2024. Let's get right into it. In the transits, we start off with Sandy's conflict day, January 1st, Venus square Saturn,
Recalibrate once more.
and Mercury stations direct.
Moving ahead in seconds to liftoff.
January 4th, Thursday, Mars ingress Capricorn.
Strong and willful.
Then in Talisman times, we have our new Talisman of the month we are announcing on the horizon. We just finished up our year ahead. Click the link to watch. And our 2024 retreat lists, of course. And in our house, we have a small clip for you from the year ahead event. And we'll tell you how to listen to the rest soon. All right, everybody, get set for a brand new year and a new episode of Astrological Intentions.
I say go do you. Now travel far, share your stories and earn your scars. It's you. Say you are the one you will answer to when this life is done. Don't waste a minute, jump in the river. Wash yourself clean so you can deliver you. The story of
Hello, New Year native.
What does that mean?
Well, one, because you're on U.S. soil,
Oh,
and two, you've seen many New Years that it's not as new.
right. It's just another day. No, I love New Year's time because, it's after the holidays. And then all of a sudden you get this like pocket of couple days of, more time off, right?
Hmm.
More time when no one's expecting me to do anything, right? Like
Right,
it's a
right,
nice time actually. Kind of sneaks up on you.
right. Well, I want to go direct to all of you listeners. Thank you so much for listening the past, man, are we at coming up on 5 years now?
I didn't
I
remember.
mean, this 2024 year will be our fifth year. And Happy New Year, everybody. 2024 is going to be a big year. And we know this because both Sandy and Susan went over their whole entire year ahead forecast that is available on YouTube, on Patreon, wherever you follow us. It most likely will be there. And I want to go direct to Danae, who says, this was her method, uh, kind of like her feedback about the retreat. She says, "What a lovely trip, full of surprises, many pieces of ourselves to uncover. Thanks again."
You went to Greece. Yeah.
Yes, it was
Yeah, thanks,
wonderful.
Danae. Yeah, that was so great to be with you for that long because she did the pre-retreat too, right? So it was really nice to be with her for elongated.
Totally.
Yeah.
And the first time that we really got to meet in person, or at least I got to meet her in person. And oh my gosh, it was just so cool to see everyone's journey and everyone supporting one another on their journeys and still like totally owning their own.
Mhm.
And then at our closing ceremony, when everyone just came out in their goddess attire, and it was immaculate. Janae's was, I think, the favorite of
No, I
everyone.
think she wins. She wins her
Wow, it
butts.
was incredible.
She
I want to borrow that dress, by the way.
she
So,
wins the dress for sure.
so yeah, thanks, Janae, for sending that in. And shall we move into the transit? It's a short week.
It's kind of a short week, which is really yummy. I'll be heading to the La Ventana to Casa Tara in
Right?
Mexico for the Mercury retreat. I'm teaching Mercury.
2024 retreat. Yeah.
Yeah, it's my first of four retreats that we're doing in 2024. I'm taking this one on my own. You always give me the Mexico retreat by myself for the last 3 or 4 years because you always are in Mexico somewhere else than
Right, right.
La Ventana.
I am currently calling from Cancun, Mexico. So we'll be like crossing paths.
Yeah.
So, shall we go over a little bit of this like short week because the first day we start off not starting off on a great foot because considering it's your conflict day, but there's two transits here. And I think that they kind of counterbalance one another. So Monday, January 1, we have Venus square Saturn, recalibrate once more.
Yeah, now when I say recalibrate, it's really not because any of these planets are retrograde. Venus is not retrograde this year. But Venus is making a square to Saturn, and with reception, because Saturn is in Pisces, Venus is exalted in Pisces, and so she has a little bit of a voice here. She has a little bit of
Mm-hmm.
control. But so, recalibrate those controls. We're at the first of the year. We got Jupiter moving direct now, which is the ruler of both of these. And that's really what I was calling it the recalibrate. It's not because Venus is retrograde, but Venus is in Sagittarius, ruled by the newly moving direct Jupiter, is squaring
Mm-hmm.
Saturn, ruled by Pisces, which is ruled by Jupiter. So where Venus is and where Saturn is, Jupiter rules Sagittarius and Pisces. And so now that Jupiter's moving direct and he's now good for all of us, because it's time for liftoff. Jupiter says it's so. So move beyond the realistic measures or the border. And just interesting. And I did call it a conflict day because we do have to, it's like our controls of our, like when you get in your Tesla, right? It's like, do I need any updates? Or what is the computer saying? You're looking at your controls to making sure you're, like you're at the helm, you're moving in a right direction because you're about to take off. Right. So
Right.
you're making sure you've got full tank of gas, or you're all full, your electric car. So you've got your electric stored up.
Battery charged. Yeah.
And so it's looking at that. And I really like that. I do call this a conflict day because this is what you need to do. I wanted to bring attention to it. It's not a hard day, but are your control panel dusted off? Can you see? Do you need to use a little bit of the spray, the computer spray, to clean your glass? Recalibrate the toggles, the dials, the switches, the volume, so that you're moving in the direction that you want to go.
Totally. And what a better time than the first of the year to really get that new direction and intention for what's to come.
Yeah.
Also, same day we have Mercury stationing direct.
Yeah.
Thank
So
goodness.
here Mercury is stationing direct at 22 degrees of Sagittarius. Yank our ears. What rules Sagittarius? Jupiter. So Jupiter's just moved forward, right? A couple days earlier. So it's like moving ahead, and I second the liftoff is what Jupiter's saying. What Mercury is saying is like, I second the liftoff. Let's go. Honey, it's time. That kind of feeling. Yeah.
And so it's kind of funny how this is your conflict day because it seems like there's a lot of progress happening, but maybe what you're getting at with this conflict is that it might be a little bit more of an internal conflict of trying to let go of those, say, habits, those plans that we had before, and kind of shifting gears into something new.
Yeah. It's like, hey, wake up. It's kind of like getting shaken up by your mother on a day you thought you could sleep in, right? And it's kind
That
of
is a
like,
conflict
hey,
day.
are you set? Are we ready? Because we're about to are you packed? Did you get your control? Did you get your plugins? And, do you have everything you need? Because it's time, we got to take off.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where it's feeling like, do you have everything you need?
Right. Makes sense. Makes sense.
Yeah.
So the final transit of the week is January 4th, Thursday, and that's Mars ingress Capricorn.
Oh my gosh. You and I both have Mars in Capricorn.
Natally. Yeah.
natally. So when we're going to get a Mars return. Mars gets to Capricorn once every 2 years. It'll stay here for 6 weeks.
Hmm.
So it's strong and willful. Here he's exalted and able to apply all available power and performance to the max. Right?
Right.
Mars is like, let's get her done.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
So
that's it. I think I'm probably biased here, but I really do. I think Mars and Capricorn is just, it wants progress. It wants hard work. It wants that, um the climb and how to get there and trying to create sustainable energy in order to arrive at the pinnacle.
yeah, I have, my friend Ray Merriman, who's a massive financial astrologer. He knows that you have the Mars in Capricorn. I have the Mars in Capricorn. He says he only hires people that have Mars in Capricorn.
Interesting.
Mhm.
That
Which is why he
is pretty
asked us
cool.
to run the Esar bookstore a couple years ago, right?
Right, right,
He
right.
knew that we would take on the role and move it all the way through efficiency.
Right. So I
Mm.
think like overall, all of these transits that are going on and Mars coming up into Capricorn, everyone's going to get a little jazzed about this, I think, and I hope that it starts stirring those legs and those gears.
Yeah, it's nice.
So excited for for this week. I know it's going to be maybe a little bit more on the challenging side, but really go for it.
Well, one other
So
thing I
let's.
want to say about Mars we're at the beginning of the year, right? We're in the first week of the year, and Mars is in a really good placement to provide um, performance, right? When we get to the end of the year, Mars will be retrograde. So he'll have
Mhm.
a way, way different attitude about whatever, man. Like, I'm going
Right.
to fight in the wrong direction versus fighting in the uphill movement where he can attain. So just really different. Mars is going to start off the year super great and end weak. So
Mm.
I mean, is balls out the right term here?
Yeah, you can use it. I think
Yeah, that's
it
what I'm saying.
translates it. Okay, well, so I think that's a wrap on in the transits. Let's move into talisman times, where here we're really just going to announce the new talisman of the month for the month of January. This is to bind a contract. I join together with you now. I promise to act wholly in this sacred time and trust that we create law that we both agree on and to. We are enmeshed. Sounds a little bit like a marriage. It sounds like, you know, a serious partnership.
Well, again, it's the flavor of that Mars and Capricorn of saying, yes, let's take this in a constructive, productive way.
Yeah, right.
Mhm.
I love it. So don't forget, if you click that link, the talisman of the month can be yours for a special price and a shipping discount. Let's move and shift gears into On the Horizon, where we have just finished up our year ahead astrology forecast. That was with Sandy and Susan, both astrologers, looking at the entirety of the 2024 year. Later in the episode, I'm going to give a clip of it to everyone to kind of get an idea of how Sandy and Susan bring in both of their opinions and their perspectives. Susan's is much more on the financial aspect, and Sandy's is much more on the lifestyle and intention setting aspect. So
Yeah. Oh, that was
click
two
on that link.
hours. Yeah, that was 2 hours we just finished with the Mercury retrograde start.
Yeah, it was it was great. I mean, it was a challenge, but we made it work. Um, So I'm going to include that link in the show notes if anyone wants to watch the full 2 hour event with Sandy and Susan, and then take your notes. Also, there is an opportunity to get the cheat sheet for January of 2024. That is free to anyone who starts with a 7-day free trial. You can try the Little Dipper, which is $5 a month. You can try the Big Dipper, which is $30 a month, and you get access to everything early, and you get access to all of the webinars that Sandy and Susan have planned for 2024. Yeah, I think that's good. Just a quick reminder here, our 2024 retreat schedule is on and waiting for you. So if you are ready for an adventure of your life, what did Danae say? She said, a lovely trip full of surprises, many pieces of ourselves to uncover. So there's so many different complexities that we have within our personality and our character and our biology, and really like diving deep into the astrological side gives us time and space to like open it up and fit the puzzle pieces maybe in different ways or in the like ways that fit really well. So I would highly recommend you to join us in Bali, in Greece, in Egypt. All of those links are in the show notes if you want more information.
Come on, come on.
So let's wrap up this episode in our house where we like to share either stories or just fun things. Like I'll also bring in my monthly meditations from my astrology meditation podcast. And last week, if you missed it, go back and listen to the Capricorn meditation because it's all about goal setting. It's all about really like giving yourself this time and space to vision for your upcoming year in the Capricorn way. And of course, Mars and Capricorn, what a great time to give yourself that gift.
Yes, yes, yes.
So yeah, I'm going to throw in a little year ahead clip from Sandy and Susan's 2024 forecast. If you want, the link in the show notes is there for you to watch the whole 2-hour event. So without further ado.
Okay, so here's how we're going to play today's astrology. We're going to go over the year for the first hour, and then we're going to come back and do January. You know, this cheat sheet that Susan and I do every month that comes out to the Big Dipper, which are the $30. It comes out about 7 to 10 days before the end of the month to prepare you for the next month. This is one of my favorite things that I do, you know, is prepare this cheat sheet. So we'll talk more about that when we get there. All right, let's go over. You want to start January? We're going to just spend a few minutes here in January in each of the months.
Yes, that is fine. So January, yay, Mercury goes direct the evening of New Year's Day at 9:08 p.m. Central Time. So we start the new year, the new business year anyway, when we're all back to work and whatever. Yay, Mercury is direct. And Jupiter has just turned direct. Jupiter goes direct tonight, the December 30th at what time? 8:40 p.m. Chicago time. So Jupiter and Mercury will both have started to move forward now as the new year begins. And I think that's a really nice start to the new year.
You know, I'm also looking at the first. That's actually January 1st is my conflict day of the month because it's Venus also with that Mercury stationing direct. Venus is squaring Saturn, right?
Mm-hmm.
So this square to Saturn really does tell you, relax, don't do anything. The square to Saturn is really saying, chill out, you know, delay what it is that you have to do. So, you know, for me as the conflict, it's like, good. The first, I don't have to do anything.
Yeah. I got to make my black-eyed peas. That's it.
Also
in January, we start a couple months of February, March, two months and change of a period where all the planets will be direct. There will be no planets in retrograde from January 27 through April 1. And so if you've got anything new to do, when all the planets are direct is ideal for the most part. I mean, if you can get it and it works with other aspects in the chart. It's always nice to have planets direct if you're starting something new.
Yeah, I have my Astro Interesting Day on January 20th. This is when the sun crosses from Capricorn into Aquarius. So this is the ingress of sun going into that. And you're going to hear this a lot over this next 2 hours. 0 Aquarius, 0 degrees of Aquarius, which back in 2020, when the Jupiter Saturn moved across that created a new dynamic in the 200-year year of air, right? The air economy, leaving the 200-year industrial of Earth. Now we're what, 2-3 years into into this new paradigm, a 200-year paradigm. So we won't even see not even those that are born today will even see how all this will kind of pan out over the remaining 198 years, right? 197 years.
And interesting that you bring that up because, even though that Jupiter-Saturn conjunction at 0 Aquarius on the solstice in 2020 was like the kickoff, doesn't it feel like it won't really get going until Pluto has actually moved into 0 Aquarius for good, which will occur at the end of 24.
Yeah, and here we are at the same day. That's Astro Interesting. On this 20th, the sun moves into Aquarius across that border, and so does Pluto.
Yeah,
Pluto moves across, so they're moving together on the same day, which is like that kind of like blows my mind.
Ditto. And not only that, but also on the 20th, they're exactly conjunct in Capricorn.
Yeah.
So
time in our lives.
Yeah. So here's the sun and Pluto in Capricorn. Serious leadership, blah, blah, blah. And then this all happens on the same day. Then they both move into Aquarius, which is like, okay, well, let's leave that behind.
Yeah, and kind of what we were
done.
saying, yeah, that the 20 years of Pluto being in Capricorn, the last 20 years.
Well, not 20. It started in 08. So
what is that?
So 16.
Yes. So 16, 17 years of the 2008. We all know what happened in 2008 when things started to crumble. Yeah. It's like the walls started crumbling, the things that we counted on. And now we move into this new paradigm of Pluto going into the next sign of Aquarius, and he stays there for 20 years.
Right.
Anyway, that's pretty much the theme of 2024. It's also, to me, 2024 is a setup for 2025. Right. All right, so let's go on to February. February, now all planets are direct the entire month, so this does kind of purport to, getting things done, getting things accomplished, moving forward. One of my, again, here we got on the 5th, February 5th, Mercury is conjoining Pluto at 0 Aquarius. So it's kind of like doing some research, doing some work around the intelligent, like AI's massive this year.
Yeah, because of all the planets. Mercury, Mars, and Venus all move into Aquarius and conjunct Pluto all in February. Pretty crazy.
Well, that's the end of this episode. Thank you, everybody, for joining in and listening and all of your feedback. We greatly appreciate it. It is our soul food. So thanks again. And I wish you such health and wealth in this 2024 year. And don't forget to really utilize this Mars in Capricorn and get your balls to the wall. We're going for it.
Yeah. What's your t-shirt say? Get
your stuff together. Get your stuff together.
Get your stuff together.
All right, everybody. See you next week.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
See you next week. Bye.
I say go do you. Now travel far, share your stories and earn your scars. It's you. Say you are the one you will answer to when this life is done. Don't waste a minute, jump in the river. Wash yourself clean so you can deliver you. The story of you, the story